This is George from iTech Legion. For years, Noctua fans have been synonymous with absolute quality and performance, and they're very distinctive in their coloring. The brown-beige color scheme, many have said, is the color of class, is the color of performance, etc. But let's face it, when you're doing a theme build, if you're doing a black and red, black and blue, if you're doing a green build, it just doesn't work, aesthetically at least, but you still want that kind of performance. Now, in the two boxes on the sides, Noctua is actually taking aim at that with two new series, the Redux and the Industrial PPC. Now, the Industrial PPC also has a little bit of a trick up its sleeve. All those raves you've been seeing as far as Noctua on radiators, well, the Industrial PPC actually takes that several steps further. First, let's take a look at the Noctua Redux Series. Now, if this looks a little familiar, it should. It is actually a Noctua NFS 12A. So they've actually taken the 12A series and they've recolored it. What took them so long? Actually, that I don't know. I do know it had something to do with the actual coloring of the plastic affecting the performance of the fan, but it is here. They've gone to a light gray outside, dark gray on the inside. Definitely has a bluish tinge to it, but it's going to go work very, very well in a lot more builds than the previous beige and brown, as you can see. Now, it is available in three different variations, all based off the 12A, as I said, 1200 RPM PWM, 1200 RPM non-PWM, and a 900 RPM, or I'm sorry, I should say a 700 RPM low noise edition. As you can see, exactly the same as 12A, same performance, exact same specs, beautiful build quality. Just basically, you're getting that outstanding performance just in a new color. Take a quick look at the box. As you can see, once again, the box is redone. It's also smaller, as you can see. Reason for that being, when you go inside, you don't get that same pitch you get with, say, the Flex. You don't get the extension cable. It's already built onto the fan. Also, you don't get an alternate low noise adapter or anything of that nature. All that's rolling around in there is 4 fan screws. So that is all the accessories to it. Quick look at the specs, of course, 1200 RPM. As I said, this is a non-PWM version, but of course PWM version would be 4-pin. This is 3-pin SSO bearing, 1200 RPM, 100.6 millimeters per hour, or I should say meters per hour of airflow. 18.1 dB, so still very quiet. Static pressure, again, 1.31, so you're getting exactly the same performance. Now, moving over to the 140 millimeter varieties, once again, just a rebuild entirely, or I should say a recoloring of the 140 millimeter fans, and once again available in 1200 and 1500 RPM, as well as 900 RPM. In the square basket, and also round basket available at 1500 RPM with PWM. Great looking fans from Noctua, as you see. Definitely a nice job on recoloring. Shame they couldn't go black as well, but I mean, it's really a nice looking color. So you're no longer constricted. You can no longer, use the excuse, hey, I can't use them, they're just awful looking fans. They're a really nice looking fan at this point. Still not going to match every build, but definitely a step in the right direction. With the Industrial PPC series, we finally get a look at what everybody's been longing for the longest time, a black Noctua fan. Now, as you see, it does look like a Noctua fan. I mean, it is a Noctua fan. It's using the SSO bearing. It is designed by Noctua, and it looks like a Noctua. However, its aim is distinctly different than the other series of fans. The Industrial PPC is marketed for industrial use. However, it comes in handy in quite a few different segments, as we're going to see. Now, first off, the Industrial PPCs come in at 2000 or 3000 RPM. This is a 2000 that we have right here. PWM on the 2000 or non-PWM, no PWM on the 3000. Now, the 2000 RPM PWM piece comes with two different IP ratings. First off, the 2000 RPM and 3000 RPM PWM, non-PWM, come with an IP rating of 52. What that means, first number in that signifies its ability to protect against dust or solid objects in general. With the IP rating of 52, the 5 signifies that it can get no harmful dust inside. So you can let dust build up, it'll never harm it. The 2 rating is its liquid repelling rating. The 2 signifies it can take a small vertical spray and not be affected. So, I mean, obviously an awesome choice for liquid cooling, or for anywhere that you're going to be putting away a computer that's going to get dusty. You don't want to have to get in there and do maintenance. For an HTPC, for example, built into a wall unit that you never want to pull out, perfect. Any place you're going to gather dust, you don't want to do maintenance, the Industrial PPC Series is absolutely fantastic for. Now, I did say there's a 2000 RPM PWM version with an IP rating of 67. What that means is it cannot take in any dust, period, into the bearing whatsoever, harmful or not. And the 7 rating indicates that it can actually be held underwater up to a meter for 30 minutes and not be affected. So obviously, water cooler is going to be licking their chops over that. You can have a leak, spray, whatever within the case, not going to affect the fans. But like I say, the PPC series is a bit different. Higher RPM, obviously going to be more noise associated with that. But in terms of water cooling, when you take a look around the back, you've got 2000 RPM. Big number here is going to be 3.94 millimeters of static pressure. These fans make incredible static pressure, so they're going to be perfect choices on radiators. So Noctua's really outdone themselves here. Really fantastic choice, like I say, for a radiator, for an HTPC, etc. Any place, you know, you don't want to do maintenance, but performance-wise, on a radiator, that almost 4 millimeters of static pressure is going to be absolutely phenomenal. All those claims you've heard from people, oh, I threw Noctuas on my H100i and the temps dropped 10 degrees. Yeah, sure. Yeah, you cut your airflow down and your temps drop. It doesn't work that way. Just a claim. Cool story, bro. You can actually do that with this. Your noise is going to go, well, actually, on an H100i, your noise would probably drop anyway. But point being, you're actually going to get that kind of radiator performance out of the Industrial PPC. 120 millimeter version, absolutely phenomenal. Moving over to the 140s, once again, as you see, standard, very typical Noctua design, a 40140 with the notches, once again, in the blades, as you see, very, very nice looking. Again, available in 2000 RPM, PWM, non-PWM with IP of 52. Also available with the IP67 rating at 2000 RPM, PWM. And also available with the round basket with 120 millimeter mountings at 3000 RPM with PWM. So, really nice lineup. Now, we often see that the 140 millimeter base radiators, very underutilized. One of the reasons for it being very, very hard to find 140 millimeter fans that give you really nice static pressure. You have that here. Over 4 millimeters, just really perfect choice for a radiator. And once again, of course, any place you're going to be putting something that you're not going to easily be able to maintain. As always, Noctua's come out with really a top tier line of fans here, actually 2 lines. They took one line that was already, you know, at the top of its class, just gave it a new color scheme. Really nice to see. You know, people shying away from the brown and beige obviously aren't going to be shying away from this as much. The Industrial PPCs, really phenomenal. I mean, they're just animals as far as airflow and static pressure go, which is something Noctua hasn't gone into in the past, you know, for fear of, you know, the noise. But they're not overly loud, you know, for the amount of air they move, that's for sure. As a matter of fact, they're on the quiet end of the spectrum, you know, in terms of noise and static pressure, which of course is to be expected from Noctua. Just the Industrial PPC is fantastic. And the fact you can throw them in there, not worry if you get a small leak, not have to worry about dust buildup and, you know, breaking the case open, you know, keep everything, you know, as clean. Really phenomenal. Obviously, both are going to get Editor's Choice Awards from High Tech Legion. The Redux Series is just, like I say, a redo of an already Editor's Choice Award, just in a more palatable color. And the Industrial PPC Series, as you see, just they're absolute animals. Fantastic fans. Absolutely love them. And they are also recipients of Editor's Choice Awards.